Hey guys, Nick here and welcome back to another video. Today we're taking a look at my favorite accessories for the Nikon Z6. As you guys know, if you follow the channel, this has been my camera of choice now since probably February or so. I went through a big sort of shift in what I was using. There's a lot of reasons, a couple of videos if you want to check them out on why I've switched to the Z6. Because I was previously using the Sony a7 III, highly regarded among the creative community, and I've switched. So let's go through my favorite accessories that I've been using for the Z6. Starting off, let's talk about lenses. I've got two lenses here. Now, if you are picking the Z6 up primarily for video with a little bit of photo on the side, the lens I would recommend is just to get the kit lens, which is this 24-70 f4. And as you can see, it is without the lens hood, it's a very small, very compact lens, and it's pretty lightweight as well. Metal construction, rubber grips on the zoom and the focus wheel, and it does sort of have a locking mechanism, so it's in a travel mode, unlocks and extends. The reason I'd say get this for video, if that is your primary focus, is just because it is a great all-round lens. It comes with the camera in a lot of variations, so you can actually buy the camera with it, so you don't have to go out and buy a lens separately. And 24-70 is, like I just said, a great focal range. The downside is it is f4, so you're not going to get as much light in low light scenarios, and you're not going to get a great separation in terms of blurred background bokeh. But it's a great lens, focuses really fast, and it's super sharp, and it's what I use for the biggest time when I got it. I used it for pretty much the past 4 months. However, if photography is your main port of call for the Z6, I would probably recommend, depending on what you shoot, to pick up one of the prime lenses, like the 35 or the 50 f1.8. Those lenses are so compact and ridiculously sharp. If you check their scores out online, these are some of the best graded lenses out there. So like you've got the 35mm f1.8, which should be great for street photography or portrait photography. In fact, you could shoot like a whole wedding just with the 35mm. I've got friends that do it. If you want something tighter, you could just get the 50mm. They're relatively expensive, but they're there. And I'd say if you're a photographer first, grab like the 35 f1.8. You're gonna get that nice separation with the great depth of field at that 1.8 aperture. Can be great for photography, and again, still great for video, just not really if you want wide angle shots. It's just not gonna be for you. But if that's still not enough, you got the baller status, pick up the 24-70 f2.8 zoom. Yes, it's so expensive. It's $3,000 Australian to pick this lens up, but it's so sharp. f2.8 throughout the zoom range, 24-70, so it's like the perfect focal range. And again, another benefit of having this is because you can shoot in Super 35 or DX sensor mode, as the Nikon calls it. You get extra range as well, so it ends up being more of like a 24 to like 120-ish, 115. And you get 2.8 throughout that range, and it's a beautiful lens, perfectly weather sealed, couple of function buttons as well. So if you've got a bit more money to spend, just skip the kit lens, skip the prime, grab this, because you won't really need to upgrade your lens for a very long time. You probably don't even need to get the 35 or the 50 if you pick this up. Links to those and everything else I mentioned in this video are down in the description if you want to check them out. They are Amazon affiliate links, so I do get a bit of a kickback, but it doesn't cost you anything extra. So if you want to support the channel, check them out. So moving on from lenses, one of the things that you're going to notice with the Z series, so Z6, Z7, is they shoot on XQD cards. Not that popular, you're not going to find them everywhere. And so XQD cards is like a thicker, it's like three times the thickness of an SD card, really rugged and durable. These things are like, the failure rate is almost zero, so you're not going to have to worry about corruption and all that sort of stuff. I mean, it's still a thing, but you're not going to have to worry about it as much. But you're going to need to pick some up, and I've been using this Sony XQD card. It's expensive, I'll give it that, but it's about the same price as a really fast like SD UHS 2 card. It's about the same price. So this is a 64 gig card, and I prefer 64 gig. I find 32 is not enough. 64 will get me through maybe almost a full day of shooting photo and video, and then I've got two of these, so I have one in the camera, one as backup. I just find it easier. It's a bit more affordable, so you can buy a 64 gig out the back and then, pick one up down the line rather than drop like $250 on a 128 gig card straight out the bat. So it's just nice to have one backed up. But the next thing to that is you're gonna need a reader. So you can connect a USB-C cable from the Z series camera to your computer and transfer files that way, if that's something you wanna do. However, I still like using an adapter, and the one I picked up is the Sony XQD reader. And that's because I did try some of the cheaper ones, and there are cheaper alternatives out there, but they sucked. Like, the build quality was terrible, and I just didn't like the way they worked. The Sony one is kind of like that old school sort of reader and USB in one, so it can plug into your computer. However, it does also come with this extension cable, so you can plug it in like so and plug it in, and that's generally how I have it hooked up, because I don't like having that. It just feels flimsy plugged in. Also, I have a MacBook, so it goes through that. What I like about this is that the card sits nice and flush into the reader, so you got to push it in to get it out, and it clicks in. It's nice, and it's not like a SD card where it just sort of slots in and you're not sure if it's in or out or anything like that. You got to push this in, click it. It's very satisfying. ASMR, eat your hearts out. So those are the ones I'd recommend for the Z series camera. Moving on to sort of how you're gonna, I guess, hold the camera. I use Peak Design straps, and that's because they are so quick and easy to use. As you can see on this camera here, I've got their little anchor hook strap thingamabobs hooked to the sides there. And on them, I use a variety of different ones. I have their cuff strap here, so it's a wrist strap, goes on there and tightens on your wrist like so, and then this just hooks on nice and quick to your camera. So it's great if you're, I don't know, don't want to look like a tourist with a neck strap. And this is one of my favorite ones, because then, you can just unstrap it if you want. This magnetizes to your wrist like so. Whoop. It does magnetize to your wrist, and then you can just go ahead and use the camera normally. But if you do want the neck strap, again, I just use the Peak Design slide. I'm not sure if this is the slide light or not. Anyway, Peak Design slide, same thing, clips onto the anchor loops like so, and then you chuck it around your neck. Maybe not that way, but that way, and again, hooks on. Sometimes I use the strap. I think it's good for video because you can use it to stabilize it. Again, it's kind of like the tourist mode for the camera, because that's what you look like with a camera strap. But look, it's handy to have the strap there so you can have your camera out all the time if you don't want to be holding onto it. So those are what I use to hold onto the camera. Next is a couple of optional accessories I feel like you don't necessarily have to get. First is filters. I have been using the Polar Pro filters. They did reach out to me, and I did a video on it if you want to check that up, about just how crazy their packaging is. Like, I did a whole video on packaging because I was blown away by it. Go figure. So I've been using their circular polarizer filter. If you see my Instagram page, I love shooting landscapes. It's just it's a passion of mine, and polarizers are great for that because it's going to cut reflection out on water, trees. It's going to give a bluer sky, all that sort of stuff. Great thing to have. And so I've been using that, and I've got an ND filter from them on the way as well. And they come in this beautiful metal carry case. Again, separate video on that if you want to check it out, but Polar Pro filters. Now, lens caps. Divisive subject, not everyone uses them. Some people do. I have a $3,000 lens, so I'm gonna protect the front element. However, I hate I just don't like normal lens caps. So what I've been using is the Polar Pro lens cap, and it's got a rock solid front on it, so it's going to be safe, but it's also got this sort of rubbery material, so it's really easy just to sort of stretch on like so, and it's going to not only seal the lens, but it also gives it a bit of weather protection as well, and it just peels off, and it's just so easy to get on and off again, and I absolutely love it. It's just, I don't know, I just feel like it's safer with this on rather than those flimsy ones which you just lose and you got to keep replacing them. All right, second last on this list is a USB-C powered battery bank. That's because you can charge this camera via USB-C, so it's great to have one of these in your camera bags at all times. That way you can juice it up if you need to do. So this is a RAV Power, I think it's a 26,800 milliamp hour battery bank. It's big, it's not super bulky, like it's not too bad. USB-C powered. It is also power delivery, so you can power laptops with this if they're don't take too much power. But again, this will power this on the go. So if I do run out of battery, I got that there, charge it up, get quite a few charges out of it, to be honest, because I think the batteries in this are only 3,000 milliamp hour. So you do the math, 9 times-ish. It's probably a bit optimistic, but you're gonna get a lot of juice out of it. So that's great. Now, One thing I've been keeping in my camera bag lately, it's not necessarily a Nikon Z6 camera accessory, but it's just like a camera accessory in general, is this little fairy light adjustment here. It's got a remote control here, so you turn it on. You got these beautiful fairy lights. And I saw this on a Brandon Woeful video. He carries all these different things in his bags for photography. And this is like $3 on Amazon. It packs up nice and small, and it's like a 3-meter long fairy light cable. Great to use in photo shoots, and it like takes up no space in your camera bag. So, I mean, if you want to like spice up your videos or photos and you're out and about, I think this is a really great option. Again, for $3, check it out down below. It's just a no-brainer for me. Like, it's just cool. You wrap around someone's hands, get that nice depth of field shot. I reckon it's fantastic. So these are all the accessories that I think you should consider buying if you have the Nikon Z6. Again, a lot of these apply to just cameras in general. So you can check them out down below in the description. Just a sort of like an honorable mention, if you're using the Z6 for video and you want to pick up a gimbal, I do recommend probably getting the Ronin S or the Moza Air 2, just because this camera isn't the lightest on the market. It's not heavy, or it is a little heavy. And so I have used it with some lighter gimbals. It's just get the stronger gimbals, like I said, the Moza Air 2 or the Ronin S, just to save yourself any hassles of it not balancing properly. But it's just an honorable mention, if you do need a gimbal, get one of those. Anyway guys, if you did enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up button. It means a lot. Support the channel. Leave comments down below if I've left anything out, or if there's anything specific you want to see on the Nikon Z6. I do have a video coming on it about how I've got it set up for hybrid shooting. That is coming. I'm slack. I apologize. Anyway, until next video guys. See ya.